Hi, my name is Lee. I am a recent homemaker. I know I'm older, but I worked for many years and now I'm not working, so I figured, I'm going to try to learn some of these skills that homemakers have, because, well, right now I have no skills at this stuff. So I had gone to an estate sale, and I mean, we were really late for this thing, so the only thing left were some books, and I found this really cool, excuse the fingernails, really cool book, Crewel Embroidery. Well, I thought, wow, that looks really pretty. That must be the style that, is called crewel. No, I was wrong. So I read some of the book, and it basically all the way to here tells you about what crewel embroidery is. The rest of it is step by step, like instructions on how to embroider. So basically all crewel embroidery is the type of floss or thread, and it was made of wool. Well, they don't really sell that anymore. I just spent 3 hours at Joann's trying to figure out where the crewel embroidery thread is. They don't sell it. What they do sell is yarn made of wool. So I bought some yarn, and I'm thinking if I separate them, if I separate the two strands that are twirled together, then I can make this type of embroidery floss. So I had already tried a little bit, and I want to show you my my attempt. This is with cotton floss, and for a first time, I don't think it's too bad. This is called a sampler. So what you do is you find something on the internet and you print it off. I found this, and all it is different lines, and you're going to follow different lines for different stitches. So cool. I tried the cotton stuff. This is a straight line, or I think it's called a straight stitch maybe, or a back stitch. This is a chain. This is well, it doesn't matter what all these are. This one was really hard. You see, I screwed up, and I tried it here and I tried it here, and it wasn't working. And then I tried a different thread, the white one, and I was able to do that braid. And I was like, okay, you know what? The more you do it, the better you get at it. So if you suck at it too, then we can just kind of learn this crap together. So it could be fun, I thought. So for a brand new person doing this, which I was, the things that you need to buy that you might not have at this point are a hoop, an embroider hoop. This one is 9 inches. The book says to use 8 inches, but my bad. I got 9 inch, so I guess that's okay. You need, it says linen. I spent a lot of time looking for like pure linen. That's not easy to find either. Everything's made out of cotton nowadays. This book, again, was written in like 1952. So I guess linen was a lot more accessible back then. But that's okay. I got this. It's a remnant. I was like, well, it's $5, so, or $6, so I'm just going to go ahead and get this. It's kind of tight knit. That's really the important thing, is to make sure that whatever you buy is a tight knit type fabric, to where it won't fall apart or separate whenever you're sticking a needle through it over and over and over again. So you need one of these. You need some type of tight knit fabric. You need some, and I bought this one today, wool applique needles. they have really big eyes. Oh my gosh, and it has this little round thing in it. I didn't even notice that. Because I met a lady up there, because I talk, she suggested getting these. These are like little rubber pads that you can grab onto the needle and pull. That way you're not tearing the heck out of your fingertips whenever you're playing with your needles. I already told you about the sampler. You need to print off a sampler. And I bought this wax-free transfer tracing paper. So I can trace this on the fabric. So it's like carbon paper kind of. So you put that on there. And then you need, of course, some I got the wool yarn. We'll see if this works. If this doesn't work, you know, I guess get the cotton kind. They don't have as many colors. That's why I got this multicolor one, because I was like, well, let's see. That's got green and purple and red and orange, and it's got some colors. And then I got a black one and a white one, or an off-white one. But they are all wool, 100% pure new wool, and it is, somewhere I saw a number 4, medium 4. This was the only wool they had. They just don't carry it much anymore because it's going out of style. So let me get my fabric ready and everything, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my fabric laid out, and see my circle? The fabric needs to be bigger than the circle because it has to like overlay it a little bit. So I'm just gonna cut it like right here to make sure it's bigger. There. And then I'll come up this way. Yep, right there. You know, the reason why I'm recording this is because whenever I watch other people do it, it gets frustrating because they're so good at it, and I don't know if, you know, and then it makes me want to give up because it's like, well, theirs looks a lot better and they make it look so darn easy, whenever it's not that easy to just do it. So I think, you know, I'm gonna record myself doing it, and that way people can see, if they want, they can see that it is a struggle. It's a freaking struggle to do this stuff. It's not like those videos where these professionals do it, or people that have been doing it for many years. And I just get frustrated, and I'm trying to overcome that because I have time to learn something new. Look, it's like pretty colors. You get all different kinds of colors whenever you buy this thing. So here we go. This is that stuff that I'm calling like carbon paper, kind of. So what you do is you take this, and it's going to be like, well, you might not know what carbon paper is, but whenever you draw on it, like this, like you have the paper and then the fabric with this carbon paper in between, then, and I'm just going to center it on my piece of fabric, then you draw on top of it and it transfers. Oh, that's what it's called, transfer paper. Transfer paper. So, sweet. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let me get a pencil. Hang on. Alrighty. So I have a pen. I'm going to just record a second of this. So I'm just going to draw right on top of my paper. And then I'm going to check it and make sure that it actually... Oh, looky there. Can you see it? You have a line where I've been drawing. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So you can take your transfer paper and you can do that. I'm going to shut it off while I draw all over it. Okay. I'm only about halfway done, but I do have to say that this is not as easy as I was making it sound, because my hand is already cramping. So I don't know how it's going to feel whenever I'm embroidering. I mean, like I said, I tried it with that other kind of cotton floss, and my hand didn't really get sore with that, but just doing this is kind of making my hand hurt. So if your hand is hurting, it's normal, I think, because, well, mine's hurting too. Our struggles are real. And maybe I'm just too ambitious with this heart. Maybe I should have printed something a little simpler. Maybe. There. Done. So that's what it looks like. And whenever you move, look at there. It's not as dark as I might have liked it, but I mean, you can see where I was doing it real hard up here, and then by the end my hand was hurting, so I did it lighter. Just another thing I guess you got to get used to. So I'm gonna put away my stuff, and the way I'm gonna do this is we're gonna learn 1 stitch a day. That should be attainable, I think. Maybe. So put this away. All right, put this on. You take the smaller one, the smaller circle, and oh shoot. Well, this has got 2 pieces of fabric. And you put it over, put the fabric over that one, over the smaller circle, like that. How come I can't see this? There. Then you take the bigger one, and it's gonna go, you're gonna snap that over, freaking arm. You're gonna snap that over, like that. So that the fabric is kind of, looks like a drum. And then you tighten it with this little screw. Like that. Okay, that's not very tight. Okay, so now that's on there. And then you pull your fabric. Let's put this down. All right, you pull your fabric. Oh, that's too tight. Okay, to where it's tight. I think the word is taut. Pretty sure. I remember that out of the book. Alright, so that is pretty darn taut. It's supposed to be like a drum, as tight like a drum. I've never played the drums, but I've seen a drum. Alright. Not much give. There's some little bit of give, but not a whole lot. Alright. Now, the color. I'm gonna just do black because I want it to show up on the video. All right, so here's black. So I'm only gonna cut about that much off, because I feel like I can not handle much longer than that. And by the time I do, you know, one line, I cut it anyway. And then I'm going to separate it because the lady at the store said that I could separate it. So I'm putting all my faith in her that I can actually separate this into 2 strands. Really? Looks like 3 to me. It's 3 strands. She lied. So I just spent $7 on this, and it may not work for me. Or maybe I will. Maybe I can still use it. Trying to separate the strings of the yarn. You see that it's fraying a lot. Oh, there we go. All right, just slowly and gently pull, pull, ooh, snap, pull gently. That looks really kind of cool though, but it got kind of wadded right there, so let's try again. Pull. You know, maybe this is too long. Pull. Pull. There, look. All right, I got one. And now I'll pull these 2 apart. This will be easier because it's just 2 instead of 3. So you separate them. And so this really, I mean, you think about all this thread, am I ever going to use this? Because this is 3 times the length. Because I'm using one part of the thread, one part of the yarn. So this is 210 yards. So 630. Because times 3, I'm getting 3 times as much. That's a lot. I don't think I could use that in my lifetime. Even with what I'm wanting to make. Oh, snap, I broke it. Alright. Be gentle. Be gentle. And that is not good, that it's already breaking, because I hope I don't break this whenever I'm doing my embroidery. I mean, if it's breaking just me doing this, I may have just wasted my money. Alright, I'll put that off to the side. This is the one I'm going to use, and here's a cool trick. You find your needle, and all right, so keep in mind you got to have this bigger eye, the bigger eye. So mine is a wool applique needle, and it even says right here size 2 crewel. The weird thing is, the higher the number, wait, I don't want to lie. I think the higher the number, the thicker the size. I think. And that's for the yarn and for the needle eye hole. The higher the number, No, the lower the number, the thicker the hole, and the thicker the yarn. Is that right? Don't quote me on that. All right, first lesson. I got this on here. Ah, I forgot to show you how to do that. Sorry. All right, so you put, this was in the book. You take your thread or your yarn and you squeeze it between your fingers like that. So you've got the needle is making a loop. Then you pull your needle out of there and then you push flat on the loop that you just made between your fingers, and then you're able to pull it through the hole. That was something that I did learn out of reading this book. Then to make the knot on the end, what I try to do, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but you take it and you wrap it around your finger and then you kind of roll the thread through your finger and then you pull. And it makes a knot. Not a very pretty knot, but again, I'm not that great at any of this. It's just the way it is. All right, we've got a couple minutes, so these are going to be quick, short little videos. One a day. One a day. Shows you all kinds of pretty pictures. Chain stitch. All right, that is not what we want to do at first, because this says chain stitch may be used as a solid filling, working row upon row closely side by side. Do not pack the stitches too closely, however, or the effect will be lost. The filling is equally effective if the lines are shaded. All right. If the lines are shaded, or worked in all one color with contrasting outline. The stitches should all begin with the same end and run in the same direction, making a smooth effect. When extra lines have been added to broaden the shape in one place, add them on one. You know what? We're too far. We need something simpler. And that is where I had a big problem. Was it said to do a straight, I think it was called a straight stitch. Like their name, these stitches, line stitch, that's what it's called. It's called a line stitch. Like their name, these stitches make continuous lines and are useful worked either singly or in close rows. Okay, but it doesn't tell you how to do a line stitch. It goes straight into chain stitch, which is a more complicated one. So I had to look that up, how to do a line stitch. And basically what a line stitch is going up and down and up and down and up and down in a straight line. That's what a line stitch is. So what you do is you take your needle, and of course the ugly part, the end, is going to go on the underneath, and you stick it right in the end of your line. So I'm just going to do it on this end one. Okay, so see how it's poking through, and then you pull it, but don't pull the thread too hard because you might break it. All right, then you go in. So you can see this. So you go in, and we're just doing like little dashes almost, and then back out right next to it. See how it's pretty close? And then, so we're going to try to make little dashes. And I'm just going right on that red line that I made. Because if you don't have a line, and I just broke my thread. But that's what it's going to look like. I don't think this is going to work. It sucks. I bought all that crap for nothing. Because that lady lied to me and she said, oh yeah, you can separate it. Well, maybe. In a perfect world, maybe, if I didn't have such close-knit fabric. Alright, so try again. You might just use the freaking cotton kind because clearly this wool is not going to work. That sucks. Oh, maybe, please. Maybe if I'm more gentle. Now, you might see someone online doing something like this, where they go up and in and up and down and, but see, it's not that easy. It's just not. So I'm gonna try just one dash and see if I can get it to go through. Oh, sorry. Did it go? Okay. And then up. And back. Down. Up and down. So my line is not that straight, but my red line wasn't that straight either. So I think if my red line would have been straight, then this would have come out a lot straighter. Alright, I think this is the end of it. This is the end of the red line. Alright, now, ending up. Ending up, you're supposed to just like, and I don't understand why, but you're supposed to just redo your last stitch a couple times. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. Which I only did it once, but you're supposed to do it a couple times, and then run your thread like through what you've already done. I don't know why, but that's what you're supposed to do. Alright, so that's it for a line stitch. A dashed line stitch. So that's our lesson for today. Tomorrow we will learn something new called the chain stitch. So best of luck. If you want, you can even make a couple of them just to get better at it. I think I'll do that after I turn this off. I'm going to do a couple of these. I'm going to probably do this one and this one so that they're even. I'm going to do another one over here. Alrighty. Have a good night. Bye.